What is your stake on this question? Is joy a decision or a destination?
I would first say that I think joy is overrated. And the question, the question, is it a decision or is it a destination, is a cliche that's been created within this framework that joy is something to be pursued. And I don't think it should be viewed that way. I don't like how, as a society, we have placed joy above the other emotions that we experience. And so trick ourselves into this rat race and this hamster wheel of, I gotta have joy, I gotta be happy, instead of taking joy for what it is in the moments we have it.
Yeah, that, you said, here's your question. I'm going to flip it. Wow. But that answer is very. So, within your answer, you were talking about joy as being something that we pursue and it's something that we prioritize. And with it being a destination, that is directly in line with the pursuit of happiness framework, like where everybody think, all right, once I get here, and once I get this, and once I get that job, once I get that promotion, once I move to this city, I'm gonna be happy, or I'm gonna have joy, or I'll find my inner peace.
Exactly.
And as actually as a follow up question directed to that, is there a difference between happiness and joy?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I know in the religious sense, people like to say happiness is temporary, joy is everlasting. But in the secular sense, I don't know that I would make a huge distinction, but I really do like that joy comes with a gravity that happiness doesn't. Um, and I would view it as like joy being the antithesis to depression, while like happiness is antithesis to sadness. Um, so like a greater depth.
Yeah, I can remember. So back in college, a friend of mine, we were both RAs, resident assistants on campus, and we would take some of our coworkers and we would just go to the diner, and it would be what, three of us or four of us at the table, and we would ask this very question: Is joy a destination or a decision or a destination? And there wasn't a distinction between joy and happiness. We never touched on that. But hearing your take on it with, it's just a different level where happiness is more fleeting versus joy being like a core thing. And that could be, it could be a spiritual or secular take on it. But yeah, that's really crucial because even in the quote pursuit of happiness, it's like it's by default a destination. But I remember talking about it back at the dining table, just saying like, "Yo, I actually think it's a decision because like once you decide that no matter what is thrown my way, whether it's rain and sunshine, earthquake, hurricane, like I'm just gonna decide that I got joy. Like nobody can take it, and that's the beauty of the gravity of it. Because happiness, okay, yeah, I'm fleeting. I mean, happiness can be fleeting. That's cool. But joy being that underlying thing that just keeps you grounded, I think that's like the foundation of not positivism. Uh, what's the opposite of optimism? There we go. I was like, positivism. That's a sociological term. Anyway, yeah. So when you consider joy, aside from happiness and aside from is it a decision or destination, how would you define joy for yourself? Not just what it should be in a dictionary, but what does joy look like for you?
Hmm. Joy for myself. I think I would say joy is closely tied to peace, in that I can experience the sense of joy when I have the capacity to be calm and present in a great moment. Because those moments, the like great moments come often, but I'm not always able to enjoy them because of whatever happening to me internally. So it's almost, it goes hand in hand that my peace is catalytic to my joy. So it's the ability to be present, aware, and take in a great moment.
So to get into your peace discussion, if joy and peace are closely knit, what are you doing when you're at peace? Like I guess when was the last time you were at peace and what were you doing? Or were you doing anything?
That's a good question. I think the most prominent memory would be a few days ago, and I was by myself and I was writing. And it was just stream of consciousness. It wasn't anything, poetic or profound. It was just, I just ate waffles and now I'm about to go and read a book and the sun is shining today. I was at peace and I was so joyful. I was like, this is so nice to just be, it's just so nice to just
Just
be.
be.
There was nothing demanding my attention. There was nothing I had to do. I had time, space, and the presence of mind to just exist.
That's the truth. See, when you frame it like that, peace is inexpensive. People be thinking like you gotta travel, you gotta go to this expensive island to be at peace away on somebody's beach or something. No, just open a journal and just
Exactly.
do some things.
Exactly. How would you define it?
I would define joy at its core. I define it as a decision. No matter what's happening, I just choosing joy, and that's not to say positive vibes only, because that that's another thing I want to get into. But choosing joy means whatever is happening, I still have a fundamental sense that yo, if I still have presence of mind, I'm still breathing. You know what? We in it. We in it, and honestly, nothing is forever. So good and the bad, I'm still gonna choose joy because there's a little silver lining, whatever. Like when I think about joy, as it always being a decision, that gives me agency in whatever situation I'm in.
Yeah, I like that.
So even if everything around me, like even if everything around me is in flames, if everybody around me is feeling away, I can still choose for myself. Like, all right, despite what's going on, despite how everybody in the moment feeling, I can still choose joy. So at its core, it's a decision, and to follow up to that question, when was the last time I felt it? It was when